Hi there, my name is Joanne Rodriguez, and I'll be discussing behavior analysis in corrections. So, what do you think about when you hear the words applied behavior analysis or ABA? Most people generally think about autism or um, basic life skills or helping individuals with intellectual disabilities or special needs. But ABA principles and techniques can be used in several other settings, and this can include um, the correction setting. So I will go over different past research involving ABA principles and techniques in the correction setting, the several barriers between ABA and the correction settings, including population, formal consequences, and differences in fields. I'll also address these gaps, so things that we can do to bridge these gaps can include having larger populations, longer studies, participation, and collaboration among the different fields. Past research. So in 2018, Auburn University's ABA program collaborated with the Juvenile Delinquency Lab in Alabama to provide ABA services to incarcerated youth. They show that there were improvements in the participants' behaviors, including a decrease in their aggression. They addressed behavior problems, including encoprosis, noncompliance, disrespect towards staff, and poor academic performance. Service providers also found themselves helping group therapists in the juvenile detention center create group contingencies so that they can have more effective group therapy sessions. This collaboration is still developing, but they have proven growth and development in the participants. So in 1975, Bassett, Blankert, and Koechlin created contingencies to increase free world behaviors. So these free world behaviors involve activities that regular citizens do outside of incarceration, so like watching the news and participating in community events. They had the inmates watch the news and provide contingency that if they watch the news and take a quiz based on the news, then and they have a high score on that quiz, then they are able to gain tokens which they can use for extra free time or to buy items at the commissary. When they had these contingencies, there was an increase in these free world behaviors. In 2008, there's a research article in which Sample and his colleagues taught the three-term contingency to inmates, and these inmates were able to use the three-term contingency in their regular life in incarceration, and they were able to use this to decrease aggressive behaviors and be able to see what in their environment is setting them off. And at the end of the study, the inmates were able to share their experiences with having an understanding of the three-term contingencies, and they found that they were able to regulate their emotions during stressful events in their environment that happen regularly in incarceration. So there are still some present barriers. So this includes poor attendance rates. There were inconsistent attendance rates between participants. These participants include inmates and even their family members. A lot of the reasons for this poor attendance rate is because of lack of support and lack of formal consequences for their lack of participation. So, in order to have formal consequences, the criminal justice system would have to be involved, but it has not been established beforehand. In addition, majority of the research articles about behavior analysis and corrections involved male inmates. There has not been much articles including female inmates, and that could be because there is only a small percentage of female inmates compared to male inmates. Another barrier is the lack of collaboration between ABA practitioners and criminal justice practitioners. For the future, there are some strategies that we can do to address these barriers and increase the usefulness of ABA in the corrections setting. So we can have larger populations of participants, so this will help to increase the variety of participants, including having more female participants, and even having different types of offenders. Another strategy is to have formal consequences involving criminal justice system. So if the court mandates that the inmates participate in these ABA sessions, we can see an increase in participation. Another one is that if we have longer or more training sessions, and including training sessions that extend to when the inmates are out of prison, we can see we'll have more evidence on the effect of ABA on the inmates. Next is the increase in collaboration between ABA and criminal justice practitioners. If we have an increase in this collaboration, we can do so much more. So we can have those formal consequences, and we would be able to have more resources and even more research studies between the two fields. And lastly, we have to increase our knowledge in functional analysis. Having a strong basis of understanding of functional analysis would allow the researchers and practitioners to provide the best ABA services and to be able to do effective research. So, why ABA in corrections? Well, ABA in corrections has proven to reduce the rate of prisoner misconduct. It helps those prisoners build self-control, and it's applicable to a variety of populations in corrections. And criminal behavior is a very relevant social topic in society, and it can decrease recidivism rates, so the rate of former inmates returning back to prison. And last but not least, it can help with the safety and betterment of society. If we can teach inmates how to manage their behaviors, build self-control, we can decrease the likelihood that they will continue to have aggressive or inappropriate behaviors. So these are a list of my sources. Thank you guys so much for listening.